For decades, the world has talked about India as this place with just immense potential. The big question was always if India would actually rise. Well, that conversation? It's over. It has completely changed. Okay, let's dive right into this. So the question is no longer about potential. It's really about power. From tech and space exploration to energy and global politics, India isn't just playing catch up anymore. In a lot of areas, it's actually starting to set the pace, which is forcing the rest of the world to ask a brand new and, frankly, a much more urgent question. How far is India's influence really going to go? All right, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's be super clear on what we even mean by superpower. It's not just about having a massive army, right? It's the whole package: economic strength, military might, tech leadership, and that all-important cultural influence, what people often call soft power. This is the lens we're going to use to understand India's journey. And the first, most powerful pillar of India's rise is, without a doubt, its economic engine. This is the foundation that everything else is being built on. Just take a look at these numbers. The IMF projects the global economy to grow at, a pretty modest 2.8% in 2025. But India, it's set to just surge ahead at 6.2%. That makes it the fastest growing major economy on the planet, leaving both China and the US in the dust. This isn't just some random statistic. It shows you exactly where the world's economic momentum is shifting. So, what is fueling that incredible economic engine? Well, the answer really begins with this number. With over 1.4 billion people, India is now the world's most populous country. But the real story isn't just the sheer size of its population, it's the nature of it. See, this isn't just a large population, it's an incredibly young one. About half of all Indians are under the age of 24. This creates what economists call a massive demographic dividend, a young, dynamic, and increasingly skilled workforce that also happens to be the largest English-speaking population in the world. It's a seriously powerful asset for driving both consumption and innovation for decades to come. But look, becoming a superpower today takes a lot more than just a booming economy and a big population. So let's look at how India is building out the other critical pillars of modern power. And there are two areas in particular that really show you where India's ambitions are heading: technology and energy. For years, India was known as the world's back office. That is changing, and it's changing fast. And at the same time, it's positioning itself to be a huge player in the global shift to clean energy. Think about this for a second. India has successfully sent missions to both the moon and Mars. Its Mars mission cost just $74 million. That's less than the budget for the Hollywood movie Gravity. This whole concept is called frugal innovation, getting world-class results with incredible efficiency. It just proves you don't need the biggest budget to win the space race. And that's the kind of thinking that's driving innovation from Bangalore to Hyderabad. Now, when it comes to energy, this quote from the U.S. Secretary of Energy really says it all. As the world's most populous country and a massive industrial power, the energy choices India makes will have a direct impact on the entire planet's climate goals. It's that simple. And India is taking this role very seriously. It has already absolutely smashed its 2030 renewable energy goals, hitting them 9 years early. And now it's pouring tens of billions every year into the next generation of tech, things like clean hydrogen and battery storage. And it's doing it all with a made-in-India strategy to build its own supply chains. It's not just adopting clean energy, it's aiming to produce it and shape it for the future. Of course, traditional power, hard power, still matters a lot. India has one of the world's largest and most powerful militaries, and it's a recognized nuclear state. But more and more, its power is being felt through diplomacy. As a leader in the G20 and a very vocal advocate for a permanent seat on the UN Security Council, India is no longer just a regional player. It is a key voice helping shape the entire global conversation. So, we've covered the economy, the tech, the military. But a true superpower also has influence through its culture, what we call soft power. And this is an area where India's impact is maybe the most widespread, the most personally felt by people all over the world. Its story isn't just about GDP figures and military hardware, it's about a deep global cultural connection. Just think about the assets here. Bollywood is the largest film industry on Earth by the number of movies it makes, reaching billions of people. Yoga is practiced in practically every country, and Indian food is a global staple. You have a diaspora of over 35 million people acting as this incredible network of successful ambassadors. And maybe most important of all, As the world's largest democracy, it offers a powerful example that huge diversity can actually be a source of strength. Okay, so it's a pretty incredible story so far, but any credible look at India's rise has to be a realistic one. The story is impressive, for sure, but it is not without enormous challenges. There are some serious breaks that could slow this whole thing down. So here's the crucial point, this powerful contrast. India is a nation that produces incredible wealth and is home to a growing list of billionaires. But at the very same time, it is also home to the largest concentration of poor people in the world. This deep, persistent inequality is the central paradox of its rise. And that inequality is just one of several massive hurdles. India is facing immense environmental stress from pollution and is extremely vulnerable to climate change. Its infrastructure, while it's getting better, is still struggling to keep up with its population. And yeah, big issues like corruption and bureaucracy are still a major drag on its potential. And make no mistake, these are not minor issues you can just brush aside. Successfully confronting these domestic challenges is the key that will unlock India's full potential on the world stage. How it manages its own internal development will directly determine just how far its external influence can go. But even with those massive challenges, the forward momentum is simply undeniable. The transformation is real, and it is happening right now. In economics, in technology, in diplomacy, the story is no longer one of a nation that's just playing catch-up. And all of that leaves us with this final, essential question. The 21st century could very well be India's century. But what will that really mean in the end? Will its story be defined by its power on the global stage? Or will its greatest achievement be its ability to solve its immense internal challenges and create a prosperous future for all 1.4 billion of its citizens? Maybe the true test of a superpower is actually achieving both.